Hello amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to Paul Who, the channel all about our beloved favourite time traveller known as the Doctor. For this is basically my overhaul video on Doctor Who season 40, series 14 or season 1, however you all like to look at it. Do you call it, like, so I have seen people call it season 1, series 14. To me it is season 40. So I'm going to be talking about each of the episodes, aka told over the 8 stories in this season, and then of course basically how I rate them and rank them at the end of the discussion type video, after the end of me overhaul video. So for this we're going to talk about basically from the Church on Ruby Road down to Empire of Death and the Legend of Ruby Sunday, because that is a two-parter and that is literally one whole story. So I do kind of have them all separated, so we'll be talking about basically what is my favourite episode of the season. So, are you all sitting comfortably? Good, so let's dive into basically to the Church on Ruby Road. So the Church on Ruby Road, what can I say about it that I already haven't said in my review on Christmas Day? I absolutely love this one. I have revisited this one quite a lot since Christmas Day. I mean, it came out on DVD and Blu-ray back in February, I think, and I have watched it quite a few times on DVD and Blu-ray, and it's still on iPlayer, so I have watched it on iPlayer as well. I absolutely love this one. I love the Goblin King. I love the actual effects of the Goblin King, and I love the goblins. Now, I know some of them were CGI'd in, but it's actually quite good to actually have people, sorry, like in puppets and stuff, and still in the actual costumes, which is actually quite good instead of all just being like CGI. I really love Million shooting because they seem to just have some great chemistry between the two of them. The way they're rocking back and forth is honestly brilliant. I love that scene where basically you got Ruby on the lead and the Doctor goes, "What the hell are you doing? They got their baby!" And of course the Doctor goes, "Put this on, what is it? Anti-grav gloves." And of course he's there showing it. "I'm the Doctor, by the way." I absolutely love that kind of moment. When he says, "I'm the Doctor, by the way," it really reminded me a little bit of Christopher Eccleston, where he goes, "I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?" "Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life," in Rose. So it does kind of remind me a little bit of that scene where the Doctor meets Rose, aka in his 9th incarnation. But it's done a little bit better because you have got Ruby hanging onto the ladders going into the Goblin ship. The Goblin ship is a good effect as well. I absolutely love the Goblin ship. I absolutely love the effects. And of course, I really love the fact we do meet Ruby's family. I kind of have a little bit of a nitpick. It's the beginning where the Doctor literally comes out the TARDIS, and then of course he's there talking, and then of course it leads straight into the titles. I would have preferred it if we had the titles then going straight into literally with Ruby talking to Davina McCoy or whatever her name was, and then of course her literally showing her life where she's out at the club doing the gig where the Doctor's kind of there watching her, and then of course you lead into the events of what happened with basically with the baby and of course the goblins nicking her. I kind of wish we had that bit cut out at the beginning and literally it just opened up with a title sequence, but I can't really remember because it is actually quite good. And of course, Space Babies did actually open up with a title sequence without having that kind of thing at the beginning of the episode. So it's just a little bit of a nitpick. A little bit of a nitpick. I really think we could have had that instead of it being in Space Babies. I really think we could have had lead straight into the titles and then go straight into the episode. So yeah, I do prefer the Church on Ruby Road. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant episode. Then of course now we are in story number 2, aka episode 1 of the season. So, Space Babies, and my god, this is definitely not a cracking episode, and I'm sorry to say that. I know some people have got some issues with it. I one that have got some issues with it, but I actually like the new effects that was used for this episode, so we'll talk a bit about that. So, follow on for basically the Church of Ruby Red, where it literally ends with the Doctor saying, "I'm the Doctor," and of course after the title sequence, so we do have that kind of reshot of Ruby entering the TARDIS and asking the Doctor, "Who are you?" "I'm the Doctor." I loved how he there's talking, says, I am a Time Lord." She goes, "What happened to you people?" "Gone, they're all gone." You know, he acts like that without having that emotion baggage that he's the last of his kind, which is absolutely brilliant, and I absolutely love it. Then, of course, the dinosaur effect is so good. I kind of wish we have an actual episode with the dinosaurs using this effect, because we've only had 2 episodes of dinosaurs in Doctor Who, aka Invasion of the Dinosaurs and Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, which both of them look a little bit naff. And then, of course, for these dino effects, they are absolutely brilliant. I love how Ruby asked the Doctor about stepping on the butterfly, because it does give me the kind of like Martha vibes, where in the Shakespeare Code she goes, "What happens if I step on the butterfly?" And the 10th Doctor goes, "Okay, don't step on a butterfly. What was a butterfly ever done to you?" Or she says, "Well, what happens if you step on a butterfly and change the whole effects of the human race?" So I love how Ruby steps on it, and then of course she becomes that reptilian, and the Doctor goes, "Whoa," like that. I absolutely love it. And of course I do love the way Shooty kind of has that little taking him and go, "Oh, come here, butterfly," like that. I absolutely love that. I love the spatial effects of the TARDIS flying through the time vortex and then basically kind of crash landing on the actual Space Baby spaceship. The Space Babies were quite good themselves. I do like Eric. Eric does make me laugh. He says, "I am strong. I will do what Ruby says." Like that. So I do find that a bit funny. I really do like Eric. The rest of the Space Babies, they're kind of okay-ish. The nanny, I think the nanny is a little bit of a good character. I like the uniforms that we have with the flashbacks, aka with the Susan Twist. It reminds me so much of the Star Trek uniforms from Star Trek. Specifically, mainly like the uniforms where they're literally at the top colour and then you've got the grey, instead of it being like the colour at the top and then the black. So a bit like the Voyager / DS9 uniforms. So I do kind of get like good Star Trek vibes from that, which I absolutely loved. The Bogeyman. What? Kind of a good design. I do like the design of the Bogeyman, but it's not really a great Doctor Who monster. And of course, the way the Doctor has to save the Bogeyman at the end of the episode, where he's there touching it, where he's literally saving the button, and of course, you know, and making the spaceship do the farting noise, trying to get the engines to work because it's being stuffed with babies' diapers. Yeah, not a really great moment for that, because it did kind of remind me a little bit of the Savine back in season 27. So yeah, the episode itself, it is definitely the weak link of the season, and I'm sorry to say that, it's definitely the weak link of the season for me. Then of course we dive into the Devil's Chord. I absolutely flipping love this episode. So since basically this episode basically aired over a month ago, this was actually my number one for a very long time. And of course, another story did take its number one and it moved into number two. The Devil's Chord is just absolutely flipping brilliant. I really love Jinx Monsoon. Jinx Monsoon, I don't know what it is, but I really love Maestro. Now, Maestro is very different from her father, aka the Toy Maker, because I do love the Toy Maker. So Maestro is very, very different for the god of music. And I kind of read a little bit more with the Beatles, apart from basically with them singing "I've Got a Dog," like that. And then, of course, with them having that scene at in the coffee shop, or in the cafeteria bit, and then of course you got them going a bit dark because like something has happened, something's changed history, blah 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 blah. And of course I do like the fact how the Doctor does mention the fact to Ruby that I was living somewhere over there, you know, I was living there with my granddaughter. You got a granddaughter? Yes, Susan. Like I love that little callback to basically before the events of the Unearthly Child. So the first Doctor did kind of live in London for a while before Ian and Barbara found their way into the TARDIS, which I found that really good. I love the parallel sort of connections to basically the Pyramids of Mars, where the Doctor takes Ruby to present day Earth, and of course it's all in ruin because of Maestro. It really gives you that kind of vibes like in the Pyramids of Mars, where the Doctor took Sarah Jane and Lawrence, and of course he opens the TARDIS doors and they see the Earth in Destination. So I did like that callback. It was a very good callback. So yeah, I did actually quite enjoy this episode. It was absolutely brilliant. Then, of course, we dive into Boom, aka story number 4, aka episode 3 of the season. Now, this is actually an interesting take. I absolutely did enjoy Boom. So the Doctor stands on the mine for the majority of the episode. And, of course, it's actually quite good to see something lasting, because normally with the bombs, we just see the Doctor either using a screwdriver and it ends up detonating, and then she kind of got scrabbled in the episode with the Bating. And of course the 4th Doctor got stuck on a mine as well. So the Doctor doesn't really have many good lucks with mines. And of course he was in the middle of a minefield in the Mark of Rani, where if you step on it you got turned into a tree, like the young man in that episode found out. So I did actually quite enjoy the fact the Doctor is literally running to somebody's rescue and he accidentally stands on the mine. Absolutely brilliant. The rest of the episode is actually quite good. The actress that played the soldier, the female soldier, who's later on to become the companion to the 15th Doctor in the next season, I did like her. I think she was brilliant. I don't know if she's playing the same character or a different character, but I did actually quite enjoy her. She's absolutely brilliant, and I did like her presence. And I did literally have to gasp that scene where Ruby got shot, because I actually thought, oh no, we got a new companion. Are they going to kill her off this early on? Luckily they didn't. The Susan twist kind of thing with the whole, with the whole ambulance sort of vibe going on. Yeah, it's a little bit of that little bit moment, and it does have some silly moments, but I did actually quite enjoy Boom. 73 Yards, aka story number 5, aka episode 4 of the season. And I kind of did enjoy this one. I do have to be honest with you. I did enjoy this one. I did give it a 10 out of 10, and I did give it an A triple plus. But lately, I have rewatched it, and I don't think, looking back at it, it isn't as good as I originally thought it was. Now, I did enjoy the horror type vibes. I love it when Doctor Who does horrifying stories. Now, I do love horror. Horror is my third favourite franchise. I love the horror franchise because I love what they do with Chucky. I love the Halloween series. I love Friday the 13th. So I really love this story. It's kind of got some great horror settings with the whole mysterious woman she's there, and of course you've got the whole thing in the pub, and of course, and all that. I actually did enjoy the episode. The actual villain, aka Mad Jack, I think he was actually quite good, and the actor that plays him is actually done brilliantly. I just kind of wish we had more of Mad Jack. So the ending's a little bit confusing. Did time reset itself at the end of the episode where the old lady basically goes to get to the old Ruby and time does reset itself? I don't get the ending. It's a very confusing type ending, but I still enjoy it. But yeah, it's quite good. Honestly, it is one of the good episodes of Doctor Who. So then we're, of course, jumping into story number 6. And, of course, this is episode 6. No, sorry, episode 5. So, yeah, episode 5, sorry. So, yeah, this is story number 6, episode 5. And it is, of course, Dot and Bubble. What can I say about Dot and Bubble? There ain't really much I can say about it, because when I first watched it, I kind of enjoyed the episode, but in my recent rewatch, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first time, or the first couple of times. Now, Lindsay, I feel like she could do with a slap half the time. I really think that she could have done with a slap. The alien slug creatures, they look phenomenal. Honestly, absolutely phenomenal. And I absolutely love the alien slug creatures. Absolutely brilliant and fantastic. I love them. The 15th Doctor and Ruby do make me laugh when you kind of have the person singing, like the famous person that we do see a bit later on in the episode. And of course, Lindsay does basically let him die for her. Bit of a big betrayal. Very, very big betrayal. The racist thing at the end, I didn't like. I honestly didn't like the racist thing, because the Doctor is there literally begging himself, let me save you, give me permission to save you. All I want is your permission for me to interfere and for me to save you. Oh, that's all I want. And of course, Ruby is there looking at the Doctor, and she can see it's really upsetting the Doctor, and of course it's upsetting her as well, because the Doctor is her friend. So you do have that impact, and of course the Doctor does have that moment where he goes, "Aah!" like that, and then of course he turns around and they look at each other, and Lindsay goes off in the boat. I might have a feeling she might come back at some point in Ncuti's era. I think she might come back, hopefully in his last episode, because she might be the cause of his regeneration. But yeah, Dot and Bubble, not a fan favourite of mine. I mean, I did quite enjoy it when it first broadcast, but looking back at it now, nah. I'm sorry, but nah, it is definitely the second weak episode of the season so far. So you will see how I rank it at the end of it. Then, of course, we jump into story number 7, aka episode 6, Rogue. Absolutely flipping love Rogue. Now, Rogue, it is a cracking episode. So I kind of did my review on Rogue, and when I did my ranking Doctor videos, I said Rogue was actually number 1 for me. My favourite episode for Ncuti Gatwa's episode. But since I did that ranking video on Sunday, I have rewatched the entire whole season over the last 2 days, and on Monday and Tuesday. So, and then of course, as I thought about it, Rogue is really, really good. I actually did quite enjoy Rogue, but there are episodes I do enjoy over Rogue, because Rogue has a little bit of a problem, and I will talk about it. So, Rogue, I absolutely love the whole setting. Now, I have never watched Bridgerton on Netflix. My mum and dad have, and I don't really click with stuff like that. I never watch Bridgerton. I don't think I ever will. If I end up with somebody in my future and she likes Bridgerton, I probably have to watch it with her just to shut them up. But I probably will not watch it while I'm single. And this episode is actually quite good. I actually quite enjoy this episode. The chic cosplaying bird aliens, absolutely brilliant. Honestly, just flat out brilliant. I think Russell was literally like, people go to Comic-Con, they cosplay, let's have cosplaying aliens. So yeah, I think that's basically done to us cosplayers. But I absolutely love them. I really love the cosplaying alien creatures. Rogue, I actually did quite enjoy the character. He reminded me of a Captain Jack. It really did remind me of Captain Jack, but I was so glad it wasn't a younger version of Captain Jack like it was being rumoured. It's so different to Captain Jack. I absolutely enjoy that. There are some great moments in this. I like the Kylie Minogue song, because I absolutely love I Can't Get You On My Head by Kylie Minogue. It is one of my favourite songs of all time. And of course, I love the scene with all the Doctor's faces all floating around, and of course we do see Little Larry got Shooty Gatwa. I really love the fact we see Richard E. Grant's face in the mix of the Doctors. So I kind of am trying to work out how's that going to work with the numbering of the Doctors. So I am literally trying to work that out at the moment, but I kind of need more, Russell. I need more detailing of how you're going to fit the Schalke Doctor in with the timeline of the Doctors. I still need to try and work how he's planning on doing that. Hopefully we get an answer in the second season, aka season 41. So yeah, I am actually quite enjoying Rogue. I did love Rogue. I'm going to have to say in my ranking, because it was number one for a very long time, but as I was writing this list down, as I was rewatching the episodes, some episodes kind of, switch places and stuff. So yeah, I have to, plus I did quite enjoy the finale a little bit more. So yeah, Rogue, absolutely brilliant. Honestly, absolutely brilliant. Then of course, now we are on story number 8, episodes 7 and 8, aka The Legend of Ruby Sunday and of course The Empire of Death. Now I class these two together because these two are a finale, and of course it does have that big massive build up in episode 7, and of course you have the cliffhanger. So what can I say about this episode? I haven't said in my reviews recently. I absolutely love it. I love the whole TARDIS crash landing into Unit HQ. I love the Doctor where he says, I need your help. So this is the first time I think we actually see the Doctor go into Unit for help, because normally it's mainly Unit asking the Doctor for help, like we do see in season 13 with Martha calling the Doctor to Earth saying, oh Doctor, we need your help, we are trying to find illegal aliens, and of course it turns into Santarans. And then of course later in that season we had the return of the Daleks and Davros, and of course Unit getting slaughtered. So yeah, I do think normally it's Unit asking the Doctor for help, like in Terror of the Zygons as well, where the Brigadier used the space-time telegram to try and connect and send a message to the TARDIS, wherever it is in time and space. So I did actually like the fact that it's the Doctor going to Unit for once, trying to ask for help, because I need answers, like what is it with this woman, who's this woman, like aka the Susan Twist, aka Susan Triad. And of course I love the fact how he's there trying to ask Unit, do you have a time window? No, you specifically said in the 70s that we cannot have time travel ability. Do you have a time window? 10 floors down. I love that. I absolutely love that, because Kate just tries her best to lie, and the Doctor just goes, I don't believe your bullshit. So yeah, I'm going to ask you again. I absolutely love that. And then of course when the Doctor does see it, and I love how his reaction, because it is so primitive, the way he's there literally looking around and he literally laughs at it. I really love that, because it does give me like Pertwee vibes, because I can imagine the third Doctor doing that with Unit. So I absolutely love that scene. Then of course we have the return of Mel since the giggle, and I'm going to be honest with you, I actually do prefer this version of Mel, because in basically seasons 23 and 24, Mel is kind of just somebody who like just carried on screaming. Like she was brought in to be like a computer programmer, and that was really dropped in the seasons with Colin Baker and Cecil McCoy. And it was picked up in Big Finish, like in my favourite Big Finish story, We Are the Daleks. So it's actually quite nice to see Mel working for Unit. And of course, I did enjoy the return of Mel in the giggle. And I do love the fact Mel is doing a lot more than what she did with the 6th and 7th Doctors on screen. But I do love her Big Finish audios. She's a lot better in Big Finish. So I do like the fact Mel's in this episode. And of course, I love the fact how the Doctor says Susan is my granddaughter. So I like how that connection with Kate, where she's there asking the Doctor, my father's told me stories about you, but he never mentioned you had a granddaughter. I love how she literally rubs it off and goes, that was a different Doctor, a different time. I never talk about stuff like that. And I love how basically she's trying to ask him, why do you not go back for your granddaughter? Because I ruin lives. And she goes, actually, I think you make lives better. I really love that moment between 15 and Kate. Absolutely brilliant. I love the fact how they use the time window to try and find Ruby's mother. And then, of course, you got the guard that ends up going to investigate because of her pointing to something. And, of course, they think it's the Doctor or the TARDIS. And then, of course, he ends up being a pile of ash because in the actual VHS grinder back, Sutek's there with his TARDIS, with the Doctor's TARDIS, and of course Sutek is brilliant. I absolutely love the fact they have got Gabriel Wolf back as the voice of Sutek. I absolutely love that. Honestly, I do. Flat out loved it. And I really love the cliffhanger as well, where basically with Susan Triad basically becoming the Sutek's kind of mannequin, and the way she goes, I bring Sutek's gift of death to you, Doctor. And the way she's there literally pointing at, and you just got Shruti going, all right. I really love that. That is a good cliffhanger. And then, of course, I love the fact that in Empire of Death, the Doctor doesn't win for a while. Because normally when we get to a finale, it's basically reversed and stuff. Like this is done. And I always find it interesting because I've always wanted to see what it looks like if a villain beats the Doctor. And Sutek does beat the Doctor because the Earth does end up turning into a pile of ash. And I absolutely loved it because Sutek has been clinging onto the TARDIS all this time since Pyramids of Mars. Now, I have seen so many people make fantastic memes of basically what's been going on with Sutek. Like, I love the meme where you got the 10th Doctor regenerating and he goes, regenerate outside, you imbecile. I really find that funny. I really love the one somebody's made of house taking over the TARDIS in the Doctor's wife. And of course he goes, this is now occupied. I absolutely love what people have been making of Sutek, and of course with the Crucifor, with the TARDIS in the Crucifor, and it's literally saying, it burns. I really love the memes, because the TARDIS has been put through so many dangerous situations since Pyramids of Mars, mainly in the modern era, and of course mainly what happened in the Time War. So it's actually quite interesting, why did Sutek kind of not reveal himself in the Time War, so that way the Time Lords and the Daleks could go, we've got to work together to fight this bigger foe. But I really love the reveal that Sutek has been biding his time, and wherever the Doctor's gone in the entire universe, he's been making copies of Susan Twist, his character, and spread them all out through time and space. Like on Skaro, the fact the Daleks are dead. He actually did kill the Daleks. They mentioned it. Skaro turned into a pile of ash. And I did love the callbacks to Teros. I love the callback to the planet from the Creature from the Pit. I love the callback to the planet Sparadan, the Ood Sphere. I really loved it. I really love all the little callbacks. Everything the Doctor has been to, everything in the universe has died because the Doctor's been to so many places and he can't remember all of them from the top of his head. So mainly like the planet like Metebilius 3, that would have been decimated, but maybe not, because basically that was the 3rd Doctor, and basically Sutek's been clinging to TARDIS since the 4th Doctor onwards. So you got the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, War, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and of course 15 Doctors, with Sutek clinging onto the outside of the TARDIS. And of course Sutek would have seen the desolation of the universe where in the Flux. So really I think that's actually quite interesting, that he would have seen the whole impact of the universe of the Flux. And of course he is quite proud of himself because he does have his Empire of Death, until basically it is ruined by the Doctor. The Memory TARDIS. I love the Memory TARDIS. I love Tales of the TARDIS because I absolutely love the Memory TARDIS in that, because it gives us such good callbacks and stuff. So I did love the fact they've used the Memory TARDIS in this episode, and basically it's from this episode it comes into canon. So all the stuff that we see in the Tales of the TARDIS is now canon, which is absolutely brilliant, which I absolutely love. Honestly, I absolutely love that. And then, of course, basically, Sutek is easily defeated because of Ruby calling him an outer space pile of crap, and basically breaks the memory screen, and, of course, puts the cable the Doctor literally puts on the anti-glove glove, basically, that we do see in the church on the church on Ruby Road. Then, of course, he literally clicks up to the title and goes, I'm back! I absolutely found that bit a little bit funny. And, of course, he goes into the vortex, and he does take Sutek with him. If Sutek was all this powerful, why did he not just take it off? I think that's the question. I love the effect of the TARDIS travelling through the time vortex and Sutek basically hitting the time vortex and restoring life. He goes, what happens if you bring death to death? You get life. And of course, he does reboot the entire whole universe. Through the Time Vortex, Sutekh brings everything back. So I do have a question more about Gallifrey. No, Sutekh didn't destroy Gallifrey, but he did go to Gallifrey quite a few times, like in the Deadly Assassin, the Invasion of Time. You know, then of course we have the Infinite Arc of Infinity, the Five Doctors, all the stuff that happened in the Time War. So is Gallifrey back? Is the Time Lords back? Are the Time Lords basically back from being wiped out by the Master? So yeah, that's the thing I like to work out. Is the Time Lords actually back? I want answers. Are the Time Lords back because of Sutekh? I really like that. And of course, Sutekh is basically, I think he's killed, or like to see him banished from our universe. I don't think he's dead. I would love to see the return of Sutekh, but with Gabriel Wolf basically being 90, 91, 92, I don't think he'd be coming back. So then, of course, we basically have the whole thing with back at Unit HQ, and of course, they actually do find out Ruby's mother. So the Doctor does take Ruby to go meet her mother, and I love his reaction where he goes, "I think you should leave things," like that. I absolutely found that a little bit funny with Shooty. I think the goodbye scene where they're leaving, where she leaves the TARDIS because she wants to go on to this new adventure of herself to try and find her father. Now she's found her mother. I really find that bit a bit funny and a bit good as well. Then of course the Doctor does leave. Mrs. Flood is still very puzzling because I do have a load of theories. Like, is she the Irani? Is she Romana? Is she cosplaying the Doctor's companions? Because in basically from the Legend of Ruby Sunday, she actually does looks like she's wearing Clara's outfit from Hellbent Face the Raven. So is she just cosplaying Doctor's companions? Is she a Time Lord? Is she something else? I would like to find out. So that's mainly what my thoughts on the episode. So basically, how do I rate and rank them now? So we're going to go from worst to best. So in 8th place, we've got Space Babies with a 5 out of 10, and this is a -D. So yeah, Space Babies is definitely the weak point of the season, but I do quite enjoy some moments of it, which is why it is a 5 out of 10. In 7th place, we have Dot and Bubble. Again, we have another 5 out of 10, and this is a -C. So it is a little bit better than basically Space Babies, but I just don't like the race system at the end of the episode, I have to say. Then, of course, in 6th place, we have 73 Yards, which I did give originally 10 out of 10, but now I have to give it a 7.5 out of 10, just because the ending is just very confusing. The ending is very confusing. I am waiting for the Target book to be released, seeing what they're going to say about the actual ending of the episode, so I will be buying that. And then, as I said, I did give it a 7.5 out of 10. Then in 5th place, is it 5th place? Yeah, in 5th place we have Rogue with a 9 out of 10, and it is a AAA+. Rogue is in 5th place because, one, I did actually quite enjoy it. I do like some moments in it, but I don't like the whole romantic stuff going on. The thing about Modern Who, it's always done things with the Doctor being in love. We see it with Rose. We see it with Madame de Pompadour. You see Martha falling with him. You see it with Yaz. You see it with Clara. You see it a little bit with Amy. The only companion kind of thing I actually quite enjoy is River, because it's just done so well and so differently, and it has a whole point of why it's the Doctor basically marries her and why he actually does love her. With the companion falling in love with the Doctor, I don't like it. I really don't like it. But the fact this is the Doctor falling in love with somebody else, I don't think we need it. I really don't think we need any more romantic stuff with the Doctor for a while. I don't want no more. In the next season, I do not want any romantic stuff going on with the Doctor, because it's done so many times. When I say that, like, it's been done with Rose, it's been done with Madame de Pompadour. We had the thing with Martha, Lady Christina de Souza. Then, of course, with Amy. Then, of course, we had it with Clara. Then, of course, we had it with Yaz. It just feels... Oh, and a little bit of Captain Jack as well, because Captain Jack does give the Ninth Doctor a bit of a kiss in Parting of the Ways. So yeah, I don't really want no more of the romantic stuff going on. I really don't, and I'm sorry to say that. It's just something I have to say. I just don't really want it. And then, of course, in 4th place, we have Boom, which I did give a 10 out of 10, and it is an A+4, which I actually did quite enjoy. Honestly, I did enjoy Boom. It's actually a good episode, and it's the one I really do quite enjoy, but there are just other episodes I did enjoy it. But this is where we get to the 10 out of 10 stuff. Then, of course, in third place, we have The Church on Ruby Road with 10 out of 10. And it is another 4+ A. It's an A plus 4 A's. So yeah, I did absolutely love this episode. Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, and of course, it does deserve to be in third place. In second place, we have The Devil's Chord. Now, originally, I'd give this episode an A, like double plus, but I had to give it 5 A pluses. It is an A plus 5 A pluses because I absolutely love this episode, and it is definitely a 10 out of 10. Really, really 10 out of 10. And of course, number 1, we have The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death, which is a 10 out of 10. And of course, it is an A plus 6 for both episodes because I really did enjoy this one. I love the fact Sutek kind of won first. I love the fact that Sutek beat the Doctor for a little bit of the episode, which I absolutely flipping loved. I love it when the villain wins. Yeah, okay, the Doctor does win because he's the Doctor, but I love the fact we kind of had the villain kind of win. And of course, I absolutely love the fact we have the whole build-up in the Legend of Ruby Sunday. The whole build-up was done so well. So yeah, this is honestly my favourite episode of the season, aka story number 8, episodes 7 and 8. So that is basically what I think of this season, my overall thoughts. Is it a good season? Definitely. I think it's one of the best seasons we've had in a very, very long time. Now, you're probably wondering what I'm on about. I think this is one of the best seasons we've had since basically season 36. It's so much better than some of the stuff we had in the Chibnall era. I mean, we had the battle of whatever it was called, with basically Tim Shaw's return, which was a bit of a weak point. Then, of course, we had the Timeless Children, basically, and the Simon becoming second fiddle. And then, of course, we had the Frankenstein for Flux. And, of course, this is basically a better finale. Not one of the best finales, because there are still 2 finales I think are absolutely the belter and absolutely the best, which is basically the Bad Wolf and Partner of the Ways and World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls. So, yeah, but it's not a bad season. I will have to do a video of me ranking all of the modern seasons, so from season 27 down to season 40. But I actually quite enjoyed this season. So let me know what you thought of this video. What are your overall thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content.